everybody. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a little while since we've had a Constructivist podcast. There's been a lot of things going on with us. I think there's been a lot of healing going on that we are doing our best to do. We have not forgotten by any means. So this time I will start by reading, and it is Cause, Control, Cure, and Constructivism. So I'll just read through all of it if that works for you, Juliet, and then we'll talk about it after. Okay, cool. It's not too crazy long, so hang in there with me. Having grown up in an alcoholic family, and I will pause right here very early. This is our dad's writing. His father was an alcoholic. So, all right, I'll start.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that, just to give some context?
That's a good idea. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be doing most of the talking, so if you want to, feel free.
Yeah, okay, so I'll give a little bit of the backstory here so that you understand where he's coming from when he's writing this. His father was an alcoholic. Toward the end of his father's life, they were a little closer than they had been when our father was growing up. Our grandfather died long before either of us were born. He ended up committing suicide, and he was a severe alcoholic, very abusive to his kids growing up. And it seems like maybe there are some different recollections of that in hindsight. After you lose someone, you might not focus on the bad parts, but he often said that there were also a lot of good things that he learned from his father, and he obviously loved to look on the bright side of things. And so I think he more saw his father's alcoholism, eventual suicide, and the abuse as something he could take with him and turn into a positive thing. Like in this specific passage, he talks about being independent from those aspects of his life and being able to move on and adapt. And so that's where he's coming from as Alyssa reads this.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off that a little bit, it seemed like for the majority of the time, and I could definitely be wrong on this, what we know is all we've been told because we never knew him. So it seemed like he got progressively worse and worse, obviously, which his fate was suicide. But he was abusive almost solely while he was drunk. Which obviously he was an alcoholic, so that just became more and more and more often. And I think go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when he was sober, he was very apologetic, and he even apologized to our dad, at least.
Yeah.
At points when he was sober.
But after you establish a connection like that, I mean, how many people can actually say that they were abused by someone they loved and then they ended up never doing it again, or they ended up having a really strong positive relationship from that? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying it's more common that it doesn't stop than it does, even if there are apologies and whatnot.
But and most importantly, you can attest to this too, but you also want to make sure when you do have a relationship like that, he's talking about independence and getting rid of codependency, so that way you're still going to be hurt if they do it again, but you're not relying on them.
But yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it. And truthfully, I think that a big, huge, like probably the main reason that our dad was so focused on growth was because, one, he didn't want to end up like his dad. In like he very rarely said positive things to me. it was rarely positive things. So that relationship was just mostly gone, right? But he didn't want to be that kind of father to his children. And also, it really, like, abuse like that really, really is detrimental to you. Like he talks about in the very early ages, like from schooling, 0 through 5 are the most detrimental ages where you're learning the most amount of things all at once. So whatever you're going through in that time, you sponge that shit right up. And you live with that. You deal with it however you end up needing to, which I think is a perfect segue into this.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, cause, control, cure, and constructivism. Having grown up in an alcoholic family, codependency is a typical coping strategy children especially develop to survive. Intellectually, emotionally, willfully, their key development years. Often, what works to a certain extent as a child becomes kryptonite in adult relationships. This is where the cause, control, cure concept can come into play in a very healthy counterbalance. Adult children of alcoholics know experimentally the terror and chaos of living in an environment that is out of control, especially with adults they trusted to be in healthy control. As such, at a very early age, I believe even in the first few months of life, they can begin to become hypervigilant in their attempt to protect themselves from the very people they were designed to be able to trust. In just like manner, they can do, sorry, my contact is fogging up really bad. In just like manner, they can do no more cause, control, cure those they dream in their
Steve,
purview.
you want me to take over, Miss Foggy Eye Contact?
Yeah, it's just blurring up really bad. And
Okay,
I'm
I'll
like,
I'll take over. It's just a little bit
okay, in
less.
just like manner.
In just like manner, they can no more cause, control, cure those they deem in their purview any more than could those who had been entrusted with their guardianship. Why can't
First of all,
I
you gotta
read
get the
now? What
book.
did you do to me? I'm gonna try that again.
Yeah.
Okay. In just like manner, they can no more cause, control, cure those they deem in their purview any more than they could those who had been entrusted with their guardianship. Every person is a sovereign individual as they become adults, with notable exceptions like those with Down syndrome or other people who can't be completely independent. We can and often must influence as best we can others in our lives, no matter which side of the development coin in life, meaning our own development and or those we have been entrusted to develop. But freedom comes when we practice healthy influence and distinguish where it crosses the line into a belief we can cause, control, cure others who are independent adults.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just reading, not a big deal. It's just reading. I just have got this little thing called dyslexia that helps with that a lot. So yeah, in this, I think, like, for me, I have started meditating, which is great for someone like me who is always on edge, like constantly, and can't really shut off my brain. And just like even telling my body like, hey, we're going to do this. Here's some breathing techniques and let's get there, has just been really beneficial because we've talked about this before. Neither of us are particularly religious, but if you can calm yourself down in a way that a lot of people do use, religion for meditation, where, like, for me, I get to a point where I am just in, people call it like a happy place, and I am just like in the mountains by myself. And I know that all of my family is here when I come back, but I had like this super awesome breakthrough that I didn't tell you about,
Ooh.
where I was finally able to ease my mind so much. For those of you that know, I have OCD, so my brain is usually a million things at a time, and I have a hard time keeping all that in check. But when I was meditating, I was able to actually relive not and remember memories with our dad that I didn't remember. So it was just like, hey, here's good. You know, you're putting work into yourself. Here's good coming out as well. Remembering all of these really, really cool memories that I'm just so flooded with what ifs. It's not even like real memories that I'm filled with. I'm not filled with any facts. It's just fears. So having positivity come out of something like that is really, really helpful. And doing something like that as opposed to reverting to alcoholism or, you know, drugs, any other way, even codependency, like it's really powerful.
Well, yeah, I wish I could say that I've been meditating or having some sort of breakthrough, but doing good too.
You're doing good too. You're doing good
It's
too.
going great. No, I am. So I've
Yeah,
been
I know.
able to feel a bit more like myself. I've been able to multitask a lot more, which is something that I used to be very proud of myself for being able to do. And then at some point, it just became overwhelming. And now I'm able to control multiple things at once again. And that's just my comfort zone.
Definitely.
So I'm
Definitely.
glad to be back there. I did not do any meditation to get there, but I have been relying heavily on the palm contact. You know, you got a lot of
Nice.
sensory something, my therapist says, in your hands, and it's very true. If you just rub it, all of a sudden the world just seems to come back into focus and you can keep
Mm.
going if you start to get
Breathing
overwhelmed.
techniques too, baby. Do some breathing techniques.
Yes. Also, your shoulders,
Yeah. Yeah.
rolling them, that helps you stay
Feels
in the
good.
moment, get back in time. If you're ever feeling overwhelmed, just take a minute, do some breathing, do some shoulder movements, do some head movements, rub your
And,
palms,
and it's
and
really
all of a sudden, go
yeah.
ahead.
It's really ironic because I always thought people were like full of it when they would say things like this. Like, oh yeah, I feel like so much better after doing, 15 minutes of yoga. And I'm like, my ass. You just want to say you did yoga, like you just want to tell me you're toned without showing me you're toned. I see. I see you. But like actually, I think like I said, for me being able to take myself kind of out of the situation and know my whole family's back as soon as I open my eyes, just take this moment for yourself. Feel,
Mhm.
imagine what it feels like to raise the mountain next to you, or like smell whatever it is. I don't know if that actually works, but like try.
Yeah,
Tell me if it
I mean,
works. Give me tips.
it's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? The different senses. 5 things you see, say it out loud. 4 things you can touch, name them. 3 things you can hear, I think. 2 things you can smell, and then just center yourself. I don't remember what the last one is. I clearly have not done this in a long time.
And then what can you eat?
I know, I'm like, I don't think you can taste anything. I mean, I guess you can, but when she was giving me my example, it was in the car, so I don't know what I did.
Mm. Well, you definitely can. I'm not taste necessarily, but like, oh gosh, what part of the brain is it where, like, if you look at something, you can imagine what it would feel like on your tongue?
Oh, okay, well, you're the
Psychologist.
psychologist here,
2 weeks,
so
week and a half.
I very exciting.
No, for real, like look at my phone camera. Now imagine what the texture
Yeah,
would be like
you're
if you were to
right.
just
You're
lick it.
absolutely right. I can feel it on my tongue if I try. Very smooth. Very
Smooth. The
smooth.
camera's not smooth.
The camera's
Oh,
smooth when you show me. Yeah, see?
I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just doing the
Yeah.
one. I'm not just getting up in there.
Get up in there. Yeah, so it's just like a
Mm,
sensory thing.
yeah. And with that, I love the fact that he used the word sovereignty. Because everyone is their own independent sovereignty. And if nothing else makes sense to you, I hope you take this away. You are in control of yourself, and no one else can control you unless you let them.
Way, way more than I ever thought. Speaking from
Mhm.
experience, with a new job, I've been having a lot of anxiety, just kind of making sure and trying to think of the exact right thing to say. And I overthink. I leave a conversation thinking, oh my gosh, did I do the right thing? Did I say the right thing? And I'm trying to give myself like a good 2 sentences in response to my, did I do this? My answer is like, usually, did I say the wrong thing to that person? Okay, so that's my base question. And then my answers are, what's the worst that could happen? They can fire me. And
That's it. That's
I'm like, all right.
it. That's the worst that can happen. I think you're doing pretty good. People get concerned about that a little too much.
Yeah, yeah, guys. If you get
Pick
fired,
yourself
just
back
become
up.
a volunteer here.
Just become a volunteer for shared abundance. Come on.
Absolutely. We got
Build up
you.
that resume. Yeah,
Yes.
gotcha.
Anything else you want to touch base on, June?
For the Constructivist, probably not. This is our latest episode. I don't remember the number. I'll make a post. But I'm thinking maybe once a month since life be life.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Used
we,
to be every other week. We're doing once a month now, guys.
yeah.
Feel free to put in requests. Finally. Hey, late ass bitch.
How am I late? It's 11:33.
It's 3 minutes late.
I was trying to find. Fuck off. Fuck out of here. Okay.
I'm looking at cause, control, cure, and constructivism.
Okay, hold on. Where the fuck are you? Stupid drive. Okay, all right. Let me just go.
It's on the share drive. She doesn't even know how to get to the share drive. Every time you're like, where is that?
I'm trying to think. There was a bit of a song that I was gonna. I mean, like you can stop recording now. Okay, but there was a bit of a song that I can't remember how it went, and it's
Okay.
not exactly right, but I like it. Tell me what you think. Okay. Hey there, sweetie, how's it going? Just wanted to touch base with you on something, nothing critical. A proud parent, that's all. And then it's like, it's
You
all
just
about
like
like,
singing his voice now? That's what it
yeah, dude,
sounds like.
essentially.
That's awesome.
Essentially, I was like, I like this. It's cute. It's like exactly what he'd say. And then it's all about like being like a proud parent and like uh I don't remember but like that was really the worst version of it possible. But it's cute. I know it sounds just
You
like
got
him.
me crying.
It's him. It's him.
I know, it's so him.